creativity, ideas, innovation, change, leadership development, youth in entrepreneurship. Only on
Radio Reeyaz 96.8 MHz.
Good evening and namaste. Welcome to the second season of Youth in Entrepreneurship. You are listening to Radio Reeyaz 96.8 MHz. I am Asna, your radio host. This program is co-sponsored by Utsa Learning Center. Youth in Entrepreneurship is a radio talk show where we interview and share stories of entrepreneurs and attempt to understand the current scenario of entrepreneurship in Nepal. Our first guest for this season is Ms. Chadani Pandey. She is a lecturer of psychology and sociology at King's College. Besides, she also gives training on presentation skills and other soft skills. She is also a program leader at Karmanye Foundation. So let us welcome Ms. Chadani Pandey. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You are a lecturer, a trainer, and a program leader. Given that we only have 24 hours in a day, how do you manage time for each of them and also for yourself, your family, and your friends?
It's a tough question though. However, I'll answer as much in a simpler way as possible. So yes, we have 24 hours a day. But then balancing your family and career and a professional and personal level is tough job. However, I being a family person, I try to prioritize my family responsibility at first, and then without compromising my professional relationship as well. So I am being able to balance it as of now, and I know that, or I believe that I'll be able to balance when I'm changing my responsibility being a single to mingling or
married woman.
Yes, married. So I think I will be able to balance it.
That's great. So you also are a program leader at Karmanye Foundation. Can you tell us more about it? What is the meaning of Karmanye?
Well, Karmanye means the intervening through business. So we are we started as a computer learning center in 2011 in Janakpur, because we basically believe that it need to be digitalized because we lack the digital literacy in Nepal, and moreover the NGOs are focused in traditional terms irrespective of digital empowerment. So it started as a computer learning center, but then again the challenges remained as raising the computers. However, we gave training to 500 people, focusing especially in women, and we generated 200 employment opportunities for them. So Karmanye is basically through intervening through business. So again, yes, being an NGO, you cannot have a business, but then we can motivate people to come up with business ideas and to generate employment opportunities. So we started as a computer learning center, which turned out to be Karmanye Foundation at present.
Okay, so what are the different works that Karmanye is doing? What are the opportunities that Karmanye has to offer to the public?
Well, Karmanye is again a knowledge-based organization, and its intervention is through knowledge. So, first program is our digital literacy program, focusing generally on female. We have been able to establish 6 hotspots so far, creating Wi-Fi through NTC and collaboration with several other organizations, connecting 1.5 lakh people. And we basically started in digital literacy because the most of the 7 districts are in remote in Janakpur. However, they are the highest in remittance. So when we conducted a computer learning center, we felt that many of people are having smartphones and they don't know how to operate it, and they are been spending like 2,500 a month calling their beloved or calling their husbands or sons abroad. So we thought that we can reduce this number to great extent. So we initiated our initiative collaborating with NTC, and we created a hotspot. And remarkably, it decreased to from 2,500 to 1,000 per month. and the 1500 that is surplus for them, they have been using in the literacy of their children, sanitation, and so forth. So these are the two main thematic areas of ours. However, since we also believe in entrepreneurship, we have been conducting Youth Business Challenge in collaboration with Youth Leadership Entrepreneurship Forum. So it is based on USA. So we have been focusing it for plus 2 students, because we believe that entrepreneurship has to be learned from the very beginning as much as possible. So this is the third one, and the fourth, which it is not, I would not say that it is the last, but that is the fourth, because Social Innovation Exchange Program that is completely focusing on entrepreneurship, so that we can intervene the rural societies through digital empowerment and knowledge-based programs. So these are the things we have been doing so far.
So okay, you said like you are collaborating only with NTC for the time being. So do you plan on with NCEL, because there are a lot of NCEL users in the nation too?
However, yes, we have been planning, like whichever comes in or whoever is willing to collaborate, we are always open for it. However, there might be some difference, because NTC and NCEL are like they are in the two sides of a river. So if we'll be able to bridge the gap, obviously we will also collaborate with NCEL. But we cannot compromise with NTC because it is since they are from our inception. So
okay. So where do you see Karmanye Foundation in the upcoming years?
Okay, tough question, because yes, in coming years we see Karmanye Foundation as an organization that will be dealing with digital literacy, digital empowerment for the youth, digital empowerment for women, digital empowerment for a girl who can aspire to be an entrepreneur, or who can be like knowledgeable in terms of digital thing, because we have been like, when we cannot imagine ourselves without digital world, right? So we will be like having or creating more job opportunities through digital empowerment in coming years. Probably if I can, like, it's been 2-3 years that we have been generating 200 or 500 plus employment opportunities. Probably we'll be reaching to more people, creating more hotspots, creating more women entrepreneurs or digitally empowered women. So yes.
Now I'd like to ask you about your plans and your vision for the future.
As a program lead at Karmanye Foundation. Okay, I think we all already discussed about the vision that to create digitally empowered society in rural cities, focusing on the livelihood empowerment as well through digitalization. So yes, our vision is to create a digitally empowered rural societies, rural cities through the different our program like digital literacy, computer learning center. Moreover, we will be focusing on digital literacy. So that will be the vision of Karmanye Foundation.
So your work is mostly based on rural areas. So there must have been many criticisms, many hardships and challenges that you must have faced. How did you handle it?
It's a tough question again, because yes, the challenges are there. It was there. It is still there. The most specifically, because as I already mentioned, that we generally believe in traditional kind of activities for impact or for livelihood empowerment. So when we started, there was a acceptability problem of the rural society, because generally the people felt that they feared that the digital empowerment will bring lot of the negativism in the society. The young will be they will be disturbed, or they will be exploiting the technology. Yes, that was a very much challenge that we faced. But when we started and when the impact was on, like we trained 500 people and we created 200 employment opportunities as computer teachers in rural societies. Slowly and gradually, the challenge turned into opportunities. People started to come in, and people started to ask that how can I connect with my beloved in the Gulf countries, and how can we be digitally empowered, and how can we have the knowledge of digital empowerment, and the Skype and the WhatsApp, and so slowly started to wither away. However, there's still challenge because we have not been able to raise computers, we have not been able to raise the fellowship. Yes, again the challenge was there when there was no partnership. No one were willing to cooperate and collaborate. So there were the challenge, but we took it in a very positive way. We constantly, and we started to brainstorm that how can we tackle it with living on a very positive note, because digitalization is not about negativity. It creates lot many of opportunities, and it empowers you through like empowering the livelihood. So we overcame it, and with a very positive note, I must say.
So you are doing really great. Karmanye Foundation is doing really great, I must say, right now, currently.
Thank you so much.
Now let us talk about the opportunities of entrepreneurship in Nepal. What, in your opinion, is the scope for young entrepreneurs in our country?
Okay, so young entrepreneurs are aspiring a lot. They have a very crazily beautiful ideas. They go through ideation process, but where they probably there are very good opportunities, but they are not being able to tap the good opportunities because of their lack of perseverance, their persistence. They lack patience, and they in midway they left, and they will be a job seeker, leaving their aspiration, their passion behind. So there are a lot many of challenges. However, the opportunities are growing a lot because corporate and the colleges are also focusing on training and entrepreneurship, because they believe that the today's trend and the economy is towards the entrepreneurship, because we lack the industrial age, because we are in digitalization or digital age. So yes, there are lot many of opportunities, but only if you are persistent and you are perseverant.
So you talked about ideation grooming sessions. What is your take on it? Do you think it will help the young budding entrepreneurs to be successful?
Well, I think that the ideation workshop is a very good beginning for them, because they don't know what their ideas are and how are they capable, or their caliber, their potential, their opportunities. So ideation workshop definitely work a lot in aspiring them to be an entrepreneur. However, as I said before, they are lacking perseverance. So if the ideation workshop can have a very meaningful impact, because there are a lot many of people who collaborate in startups, soft loans are being provided. So yes, the ideation workshop is a very good beginning. As in Chinese proverb, a good beginning is a half work done. So I wish that the people will come up with a very good entrepreneurship skills and be a very remarkable and exemplary entrepreneurs in coming days.
So basically they can explore themselves, know their potential through the ideation grooming sessions. In our country, we also have a lot of young entrepreneurs who want to start their own ventures. So what are the challenges that our young entrepreneurs are facing?
Again, as I said before, that we have a different nurture system in Nepal, because we still focus on the traditional kind of job seeker mentality. Like, you're grown up, you have studied, and where do you want to start your career? Where do you want to head your career? So basically, our parents, our contemporary teachers, your lecturers, everyone are focusing on the job seeker mentality, employability skills, rather than the entrepreneurial skills. However, the challenges are there again. Creating or changing the nurture, or creating the values, or changing the traditional norms into kind of like entrepreneurs can also be a very good backbone of the country and backbone of individual itself, because we still focus that we thrive to spend our most of the times in fulfilling the dreams of others. Not about ourselves. Had an individual been able to invest the maximum number of hours for working for others than to himself or herself, then I'm sure that there will be a very good bunch or good number of entrepreneurs in Nepal, and probably our economy will be heading towards a very good number. When it comes to impact, we have to calculate it with numbers, right? So we will be having a quantifiable, a very good human, and a very qualitative kind of entrepreneurs in coming days.
Talking about challenges and tradition in our society, we have a lot of women entrepreneurs too, but then they are always hesitant. They're always self-conscious about what others would say if they go out in the public. So can this culture be changed for women?
Changing a culture is a slow and very gradual process. You cannot within a flint of second, if I'll come and motivate you, you'll change your culture, because it is instilled since your childhood. So there is also one proverb in anthropology, like, we are what we eat. So we are what our culture is, because we are nurtured in a very traditional way. Yes, again, if women also have a choice, or they have a choice but they are not making it, if they are able and self-aware of making a choice, like there is a saying, a need hierarchy, self-actualization. If they are self-actualized, then again, yes, the women will come out and they will again raise their voice, or they will establish themselves as a young women entrepreneurs. Until and unless the stigma is broken, it is not at all possible that women will come openly and won't be hesitant to talk about their ideas, ask funding, go and collaborate, because the stigma is slowly changing. Because talking about previous 2 years, here there has been tremendous change in women participation in entrepreneurship, skills, the workshop. So yes, the women will be changing, but the change in culture is not that easy and a one-day process. It will take time.
I mean, women entrepreneurs, we do have a lot of platforms these days. We're also we want them to come up with their ideas, but then how do we encourage them to come up?
Again, I said, it's you who starts. So women should feel that it's high time for me to start. So until and unless you realize, again, talking about motivating, so its motivation is of two kinds. One is extrinsic motivation and the other is intrinsic. So when you talk about intrinsic motivation, you should be more intrinsically motivated. Nobody can motivate you. So when you talk about extrinsic motivation, yes, the workshop like Empower Her, ideation workshop of Kusum, they have been doing tremendously good job. So yes, if these sort of extrinsic motivation will be creating a good platform for women, definitely the scenario will change in coming days, but sooner.
Now let us talk about something philosophical. Who actually is Chadani Pandey? How would you define yourself?
Okay. Actually, Chadani Pandey is a very compassionate kind of person and a family person. So I think these two best defines Chadani Pandey as a person.
Okay. So what inspires you? What motivates you every second of every day when you are feeling like you want to give up? What do you think of, and how does it re-energize you to do better?
Well, I always set certain targets and agendas every day. So when I sleep or when I am in bed every night, I think that had I made it large, could I make a difference? So when I ask myself, I am a kind of person that believes the meditation has to be there for any improvement and re-energizing or reflecting yourself. So when I reflect my day at night, I kind of get energized, because you cannot fulfill every of the agendas every day. So when there are untouched and left agendas, that motivates a lot, because I need to thrive, I need to get up, because nothing is permanent, everything is temporary, right? So it is temporary, it will go back, or it will wither away, it will go away. So I need to thrive. I get up every day with new agendas and new energy for a new day. So it motivates a lot.
So is there any story that you would like to share with our listeners?
I personally believe that a person is full of stories. So when you ask me to share a story, it is very difficult for me to comprehend and just a story. However, I'll try, because since it's so focusing on entrepreneurs or career. So it was a year back when I joined King's College. I was there for a different program. However, unfortunately, or I must say fortunately, it didn't work out. So one fine day, Mr. Narottam Aryal, Executive Director of King's College, he came forward and he asked me to give a presentation. So I thought because it was 3-4 years back when I last gave my presentation when I was a master's student. So I thought it would be very much difficult for me to comprehend in 5-10 minutes of presentation. So I chose meditation as a subject, and I was there with my presentation. I was fumbling, I was trembling. I can still remember the goosebumps back then. So he came and he started asking several of questions, like why you chose the topic, to make me nervous, to yes, again I said as before, my perseverance, my persistence, my connotation, my intonations, everything, how I fumble upon, or how am I a confident person or not. And at last he said, you can go and teach to any of the students. And that was the very day when I started giving my presentations to MBA students even. So I started giving, I then realized my potentials, that okay, there is a good presenter inside me, and he is the one who found that path for me. And till now there is no looking back. So this is the story how I started as a career. So every day I groom myself to be a very good presenter, a trainer, and a lecturer, and it motivates a lot. So this is a story behind a lecturer me, a trainer me, and a presenter me. So
that's really nice. So would you like to share an event when you encountered failure in your life and how it helped you to grow, and and then after that, how did it feel like to be successful? What does success mean to you?
Okay, so talking about failure stories, there are several failure stories, because life is not that smooth as it sounds, or life is never this smooth or never the bed of roses to anyone. So I too had much failure stories. But yes, talking about the presentations, or let's make it this way. I was in my school days when there was a presentation or debate competition when I was in class 10. So I was selected to be a finalist because I was so overconfident that day. I totally ruined my presentation and we stood last. And it was inter-school competition. That day I feel that there is thin line between confident and overconfident. That was my learning, and that indeed led me to my own growth. Not to be overconfident, be confident. That will yield you in long run, because being overconfident will just yield you in short run, because you have to be a horse of long race. So yes, that was my failure story, and I stood up and I realized my weakness. So realizing your weakness will always lead to a growth. And talking about success is a peace of mind for me, because when you have a peace of mind, you are completely satisfied from inside, outside. So I don't long for success to count in money, count in my designation. So it might sound very philosophical though, but peace of mind is a success for me.
We're almost at the end of our show today. So is there any advice or suggestion that you'd like to give to the young entrepreneurs and the younger generation who aspire to become like you?
Well, life is always about learning. When you stop learning, you are dead. So being an entrepreneurship also, there are failure stories, there are success stories, there are case studies. You need to always be open to knowledge and always open to learning. So I personally suggest, or I personally plea or request every young entrepreneurs to have a very good mentor. The mentorship is very much important in entrepreneurship, because they will be the pathfinder for you, and they will be the one who will guide you from ideation till a business model. So I guess yes to mentorship will be a good formula to be a successful entrepreneur.
Thank you. So before we wrap up, what are the 3 most important things that, according to you, you think will help become a good entrepreneur?
Okay, like I previously said, perseverance. Or let's make it in a hierarchical order. First is ideation. Idea is very much important for anything to start. Second is the perseverance and persistence. And third is the mentorship. The combination of 3 will give you a good or sound knowledge of entrepreneurship, and it will be a pathfinder for you to start and to end as good entrepreneurs.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you with us here today on Youth in Entrepreneurship. We had a really enlightening conversation today, and I'm sure our listeners must have been inspired after listening to your stories and might want to be in contact with you and your organization. So is there any contact information that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Okay, we are based in Pulchok, Karmanye Foundation. You must have heard the name Bikalpa Arts Center. We are there sharing office space in Bikalpa Arts Center. You can visit, drop in by anytime from 10 to 5. And you can reach me at my email address, that is chadani.pandey@gmail.com.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have any queries or suggestions regarding the show, or if you are a young entrepreneur yourself who would like to be interviewed on this show, you can write to us. You can message us on our Facebook page, Youth in Entrepreneurship, or call us on our number 467-0820. You can also like our Facebook page and join our radio group, Radio Reeyaz 96.8 MHz MHZ. Thank you so much for listening to Youth in Entrepreneurship, co-sponsored by Utsa Learning Center. I'd like to thank our concept director, Abhilasha Rayamajhi, and also our technical support, Ashish. We will be back again next week with yet another amazing guest. Till then, take care and have a wonderful week. Namaste. Creativity, ideas, innovation, change, leadership development. Youth in Entrepreneurship, only on
Radio Reeyaz 96.8 MHz.